You're wired in. SmallCapVoice.com. Following is a presentation of SmallCapVoice.com, today's leader in investor relations, capital formation, and retail support. Now, with your online business briefing, SmallCapVoice.com's Stuart T. Smith.
Welcome one, welcome all to this online business briefing brought to you by SmallCapVoice.com. And as you just heard, I'm your host, Stuart Smith, and we are welcoming back to the show an exciting young mining company, Stronghold Metals Incorporated. You may recall we've done some earlier audio interviews with the company, and I'd like you to refer back to those audio interviews because we go over the management's background, which is extensive. There's a long history with this company in terms of the people that are running it and their ties to the area that they're mining in right now. So we're welcoming back to the show Yannis Tsitos. Yannis, how are you today?
I'm doing very well, Stuart. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Well, thank you. Well, we wanted to talk to you because, as you know, as a mining company, the mining press releases can have so much information in them, so much of it good, that we really want to break it down and also capture your insight into this recent press release. Listeners, on November 29th, 2011, the company reported further analytical results from its drilling program at the Eagle Mountain Gold Project in Guyana. And again, those earlier audio interviews go over this project in detail, so now what we'd like to do is really focus in on these results. Overall, Yannis, this is an exceptional press release. Obviously, you've got to be very happy with the progress that's going on there and the continued results that you seem to be finding and developing there at Eagle Mountain. Go ahead, Yannis. Tell us your insight into this.
Yes, Stuart. We are very excited and extremely encouraged, I would like to say, with the continuation of receiving very good analytical results from our drilling program in Guyana. But to paint a bit, just for a minute, the background for a first listener here, we commenced this drilling program in our flag project in Guyana called Eagle Mountain Gold Project back in May 2011. And obviously the first results start coming around July, August from ACME Labs in Santiago, the analytical laboratory that we're using, one of the best in the world. We announced the first news release with the first few holes in August, then additional holes in September, and now an additional 14 holes. For you to understand, we have done about 73 holes, as I reported today, up to date, and we have received results from 46 from these holes. And 44 of the 46 holes have returned very interesting gold intersections that are of sufficient grain and width to make the project economic. They coming along our strategy and expectations in terms of what we want and we know from Eagle Mountain, but how we want to enlarge the current inferred resource there. So we had some exceptional results announced today, and we can go in detail as we go in the interview, but we are extremely thrilled and encouraged as management, and definitely better to what we expected.
Well, yeah, I can see that. And listeners, it's a long press release. You can see a lot of detailed information within this press release, and we encourage you to do that. And Yannis, what jumps out at you then? Instead of going into detail of all of the results here, what's really jumping out to you that's making this such an exceptional find for you and the company?
The Eagle Mountain Gold Project is a fantastic project. It's through a JV with IAMGOLD, one of the biggest gold producers out there. Mm-hmm. It is located in a very, very nice and not challenging infrastructure area of Guyana, about 200 kilometers from the capital, Georgetown. It has an historical resource of 750,000 ounces, plus minus, at about 1.3 grams per ton. But we saw the scope from the beginning. After our due diligence, we saw that the project is open in all directions, and it can be seriously enlarged within the deposit in known mineralization area, and by drilling additional infill holes, as we call them, between existing holes, but also through expansion holes, like step-out holes on the periphery of the known mineralization. So to come to some small details within this news release that we announced today, obviously announcing results like 42 meters at almost 1 gram per ton gold, starting from surface to 42 meters depth. and or 19 meters at 3 grams per ton, 7.8 meters, as you see there, at 30 grams per ton, which is almost an ounce per ton, are very good results. And they come in areas throughout the deposit that spans for 2.5 kilometers on one direction and 1.5 on the other direction, and still open on all 4 directions. So only that speaks for itself, and definitely we carry on bringing to the market ounces every month we drill. That's what keeps us so up to our toes, in this work on Eagle Mountain. Our operating team there is extremely excited. I'm talking about the technical chief geologists and the technicians and the other geologists that work in the field.
Mm-hmm.
And we will carry on drilling up to a break before Christmas, and we will recommence the drilling program we have in early January.
Yannis, I wanted to ask you about something you just pointed out, and that was the Stepout Exploration. For the novice mining followers like myself, talk to me a little bit about the significance of this. You're stepping out of the area, it says in the northwestern parts of the deposit, where we hold supportive surface historical geological data. And then it also says this is an area that has seen no historical drilling. So what is the point of going to that step-out exploration? Is this basically, it sounds to me like you're breaking new ground in your area here to see if there's anything growing on the periphery as well.
Yes, correct. This is extremely significant, obviously, for showing the blue sky potential not only to the outside the company wall, but even to us as we move on with our technical program. The concession we control in Guyana is 5,000 hectares in size, so it's pretty big. That translates to 50,000 square kilometers. So the actual project is only the deposit, as we know, the historical resource is covering an area of about 300 hectares within this concession. So it is open. It's on the side of a hill 700 meters tall. The step-out holes will show us how much we can enlarge the deposit in the periphery of the known mineralization. In other words, can we go to 1.3, 1.5 million ounces, or we are talking about a project that is a multi-million ounces project. This is a granitoid, and I don't want to get too technical, that is altered and mineralized throughout, and even within the concession and outside my concession, we have artisanal miners mining gold. This is a strong indication that even away of the known mineralization, there is gold. And IAMGOLD and Cambio, the historical predecessors of the project, have taken grub samples and rock samples, soil samples from these areas outside the known mineralization again, and they have proven that the gold carries on. Now, this area voids drilling to confirm that result. And that's what we're going to do at Stronghold. We are going to carry on the infill drilling within the known mineralization and also step-out drilling to go to these unknown areas and bring more ounces into compliance.
Very good, listeners. Once again, we are speaking with Yannis Tsitos. We're talking about the Eagle Mountain Gold Project in Guyana for Stronghold Metals Incorporated. If you'd like to learn more about the company, you can reach their contact, Daniel, at 866-580-8891. His contact information is listed in full at the bottom of every press release for the company. Yannis, before I let you go, you gave us a little bit of a timeline going up through the holiday here and Christmas, but let's look at 2012. And I'm not asking for specific results and things like that. What are your personal goals for the company in 2012 and for, actually not for the company, but for this project, the Eagle Mountain Project? What would you like to see happen in 2012?
The biggest milestone for 2012 is going to be for the company to deliver a preliminary economic assessment for the Eagle Mountain project. We can split the work in various parts. There is no doubt we will carry on drilling infill and step-out holes, and that drilling will carry on. The current program was announced in 2011 to conclude at about 15,000 meters and about 120 holes, to complement another 150 holes that we have from historical data. But the trend of these good results, it's pointless to stop it, especially when the deposit is open in all directions. So, having said that, obviously we will have to analyze the current data and put it all in place in a proper and prudent way But most likely we will carry on the drilling beyond February, that we expect to finish the announced program. Then, obviously, we are going to update the geological resource. We're going to bring a new National Instrument 43-101 compliant technical report as per the exchange requirements in Canada. We want to conclude that in the first quarter of 2012. We want to initiate additional mineralogical, metallurgical, and environmental studies in the first quarter of 2012 to be delivered in the second quarter. And we expect the economic assessment report, as I said, to be delivered sometime within the year, most likely at the end of Q2, maybe in the Q3, third quarter of 2012. We are going to also initiate exploration work on the additional ground that we got now through another deal, what we call Omai Gold Properties, which is neighboring the Eagle Mountain. So I would like to encourage you to go to our news releases we put in the recent 2 months, and you see everything about this new deal, but that opens an additional horizon for us to bring more resources into the Eagle Mountain processing plant down the line. And as finally, and most importantly, we have recognized that a lot of the resource is falling within near-surface oxide material, which is very soft rock and free gold effectively. We can leverage the easiness of the extraction of this gold, because this is, as I say, you do not require a mill for that area. It's in oxide form. We can leverage this easiness of this extraction into making these ounces with a small capital expenditure and maybe lower operating costs as a proper operation. And therefore, we have assigned a contract with a third-party external engineering firm to do an analysis of the saprolite ore, the near-surface gold ore, and see how much it will cost for us to go to production as soon as possible into this resource. So a lot of exciting stuff, therefore, will come out in 2012, and we look forward to keep updating our shareholders and any investor out there who is interested in Stronghold Metals and Eagle Mountain.
Well, we look forward to having you back here at SmallCapVoice.com to get your personal insight into the company's exciting news that it releases. Listeners, once again, we are speaking with Yannis Tsitos. He's the President, Chief Executive Officer, and Director of Stronghold Metals Incorporated. The company's traded on the TSX Venture Exchange under the ticker symbol Z. They're traded here in the United States under the ticker symbol SDMTF, and that's on the OTCQX. They're also on the Frankfurt under E9X. We look forward to speaking with Yannis again. Yannis, thanks so much for your time here at SmallCapVoice.com. Have a great month of December. We look forward to speaking with you again after the holidays in January.
Yes, thank you very much, Stuart, and I would like to wish the best for the holiday season to every listener of yours and yourself and your family personally. It's always a pleasure to come and talk on radio, and we can do that back in January with more good results from Eagle Mountain. Thanks a lot.
Outstanding. Well, listeners, once again, that's Stronghold Metals. Learn more about them here at SmallCapVoice.com, and this is Stuart Smith saying thanks so much for listening.
SmallCapVoice.com, today's leader in investor relations, capital formation, and retail support, provides its clients with the highest level of service. Our audio interviews are disseminated to one of the largest opt-in audiences available today. How? We at SmallCapVoice.com believe in aligning and affiliating ourselves with other leaders within the investor relations community. By sharing resources, each affiliated firm is made that much stronger and each client is served that much better. Our focus is to identify and provide the very best financial services and solutions available to clients and their shareholders. For more information about our services, please call us at 512-267-2430 or visit us on the web at www.smallcapvoice.com. This is a broadcast of SmallCapVoice.com, a financial communications and investor relations firm. SmallCapVoice.com receives payment for investor relations and financial consulting services that it provides to its clients. You should assume that officers, directors, and employees of SmallCapVoice.com or financial analysts mentioned and their families hold a position and intend to trade in these securities for their own accounts. This is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell securities. Information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be, nor should it be construed as, investment advice. As in all investments, an investment in the featured company carries an investment risk. Listeners should review the company thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This broadcast does not purport to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used and statements of fact have been obtained from the featured company and other sources but not verified nor guaranteed by SmallCapVoice.com as to completeness or accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice.